All right, two things are happening at the same time. Donald Trump, who we refer to as Kanks, short for Kankles McTaco Tits, Kanks has all of these vanity projects. He has show and tell class at the White House. He has rambling sundowner dementia hour every evening. And then he's surrounded by sadists who want to destroy democracy, who are grinding, who are diabolically ambitious. So these two things are happening in tandem and parallel at the same time. So to keep their Trojan horse busy, he does projects like this. And I want to remind you that the government is shut down. People are genuinely worried about how am I going to feed my family next week? How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay my rent? Trump doesn't care. The people surrounding him don't care. The cruelty and the punishing is the point because they are diabolical sadists. Here's Trump talking about one of his vanity projects. Play the clip.
What is this, Mr. President?
Let's go. Thank you guys.
It's going to be built.
Thank you all. You come this way. Thank you.
For who?
Thanks, guys.
Take a look.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no, I know where it is, but who's it for?
Thank you, guys. The country.
All right, you might have missed that right there. He said, who's it for? And Trump said, it's for me. And this is this Marie Antoinette obsession that he has. And of course, everybody knows there's the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And that was for the victory against fascism. The Antifa soldiers, the anti-fascists won. And there is the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. He wants an Arc de Trump. This is a completely unhinged, dementia-ridden narcissist. And again, I understand him being a nut. I understand a narcissist. Everybody's met some drunken, dementia-ridden, self-obsessed, fragile ego man or woman in their life. The amount of people surrounding him that every single day, every single thing they do is for an audience of one, that's the most problematic to me. The lack of care for our country, the lack of care for the rule of law, the lack of care for decorum. And they just all go along with this bullshit. Could you imagine for 1 second, just imagine it, if Obama said, yeah, I'm making an Arc de Obama. Imagine the meltdown. He wore a tan suit and Fox News broke.
Here's the thing. I mean, the shit Trump gets away with, like Trumpy Trout, the watches, the $1 billion crypto scheme. Now we've got the elf on the shelf, a la Trump. It's unbelievable, the corruption that he gets away with. And here's the thing. Not only is he doing all this stuff because he has to feed this broken ego, he has the worst taste I have ever seen in my life. It's like Sanford and Sons all over again.
Well, it's a wannabe Marie Antoinette. He's going
right.
It's French look. And I still to this day, I believe all of that gold leaf in the oval is in fact faux leaf. All right, moving along. He has his arts and crafts show last night to donors in the White House while Bernie and AOC are hosting a town hall about the shutdown. And Moses Mike Johnson doesn't care. The Senate Majority Leader doesn't give a shit. They know that Russell Vought and Stephen Miller are breaking as much as they can, firing as much as they can, being as sadistic and punitive as much as they can to Democratic cities, because these people are emotionally stunted, broken people. 10 years of therapy wouldn't fix them. So they are using the United States global stage to act out their inner child issues. And they have the biggest toddler as their leader. Look at this. This is the president of the United States while the federal government is shut down. Play the clip.
So that's Lady Liberty. Lady, did you ever hear of Lady Liberty? So the sizes would be very different. Here's Lady, and this is certification this way. It is the same today. So this would be.
All right, I've seen enough.
He's got his little toy.
There he is. And the fact that there are people sitting here doing this, and the fiscal conservatives, government needs to be trimmed down, and nothing means anything to them except for pure, unadulterated power, wherein they can beat up on people who are more socially and morally liberated than they are. These are broken people that live in shame cycles, that refuse to go to therapy. And this guy, Kanks, is the embodiment and the manifestation of the worst impulses that American culture produces, all produced into one big giant zit. And it is erupting on the global stage. And this kind of crap, his show and tell hour, it doesn't even hit the news cycle. I was on CNN last night, and we're all talking about, why aren't the Democrats and the Republicans negotiating? And here's why they're not negotiating: because leadership starts at the top. Usually when the government is shut down, a normal president, Republican or Democrat, would be hosting both parties in the Oval that night and saying, we've got major problems here. What can we bend on? How can we compromise? And everybody has to give and take a little to reopen the federal government. He doesn't give a shit. No. He bragged about, prior to the closing, this is going to be good for us because I can shut more shit down via Russell vote.
Here's what drives me crazy. You have all this, waste, fraud, and abuse. We're after waste, fraud, and abuse. Okay, Donald Trump is ground zero for waste, fraud, and abuse, talking about, re-outfitting his jet from Qatar. You've got his art projects. He's talking about, it costs a lot of money to put this much real gold in the Oval Office. His building, all of this crazy shit that is not needed or wanted by anyone but him, while Americans are losing access to health care. They're losing access to, food stamps. It's mind-boggling that there is zero, maybe I shouldn't be hosting and having my show and tell hour about all my new projects with government money because the government shut down and people are worried. No, it's none.
Well, and that's because I want to take you back to the beginning of this episode. Two things are happening in tandem. Right. The diabolical, ambitious sadist like Russell Vogt and Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance, and then all of their billionaire dark money oligarchs that are funding them behind the scenes, are allowing the president to be entertained by these projects because he's too intellectually lazy and doesn't have the attention span to focus on the policy. And this is diabolical, sadistic policy. Trump is a famous non-reader. He's not interested in this. So I believe behind the scenes, it's like, great, let him do that, get that on his schedule so we can do all of these things. Here he is talking about remodeling the Lincoln bathroom. Play the clip.
Probably really used to it. It's just a special place. What can I say? So we have to take care of it. And we have little things like at the Lincoln bedroom, the bathroom was done by the Truman family and, a long time ago. And it's done in a green tile, and it's done as in a style that was not exactly Abe Lincoln. It's a style that's not good. So.
Okay. You can stop it there. I'm old enough to remember that when a government is shut down, the optics of that are super important. I remember when Obama won in 2008, we had the Great Recession, and he said he wasn't typically the new incoming president can select new draperies, new rug, whatever. And he kept it exactly as George W. Bush's Oval because the optics of him changing or upgrading something weren't good. That precedent is completely demolished, and the entire administration, the entire Republican Party, all abdicate to this man's whims and impulses to be a Marie Antoinette style decorator.
Let's take a minute and thank our sponsor. And our sponsor today is Honeylove. I love Honeylove. As you know, the sagging dragons can be very uncomfortable in bras, and that is why Honeylove is my go-to because it makes me feel like I'm not even wearing a bra. Honeylove's bras are designed with back smoothing fabric to prevent bra bulge. Check out their V-neck bra for totally smooth fit underclothing. It offers the support of traditional bras without the uncomfortable underwire. It has molded cups that are designed to lift and separate. It's not a shelf-like bra. You won't be getting the uniboob effect. So please check out Honey Love bras. And it's not just bras. They have shapewear, tanks, and leggings, and they really have great shapewear. So treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras on earth. Save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/IHIP. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/IHIP. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard bras with Honey Love.
Here's what's really alarming. Here's what should be on the news all the time. If Biden made the slightest gaffe, it was wall to wall coverage on corporate news, wall to wall coverage. Listen to this man. This sounds like a person that got a day pass from the memory care wing of a nursing home. Play the clip.
What's called the reverse bathtub. And it's not that uncommon, but it is actually a reverse. You seal it. The problem is nature always wins. I know a lot about reverse bathtubs. I've done it. And it's something you only do in emergency. There was no reason.
The reverse bathtub. He knows a lot about that. Of course he does. This is insanity. Imagine if Joe Biden were standing up there saying, I know a lot about reverse bathtubs. Jesse Waters would break in two. Fox News, they would probably say, we're going on a 365-day bender on this subject. Jake Tapper would write at multiple chapters, phase 2 of his book, phase 3, phase 4. This reverse bathtub clip, you guys, it's nowhere to be found because he is able to have dementia and ruin our country with impunity. Corporate media doesn't say shit about it. This man, it needs to be 25th Amendment, and it needs to be now, because sometimes people with dementia start spilling the tea and they speak the truth. And here he is on Stephen Miller. And again, I want to remind you guys the two things that are happening at one time. Stephen Miller, often when he is interviewed, he uses the word I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that instead of this administration. Make no mistake about it. Stephen Miller runs the FBI. Stephen Miller runs the DOJ. Stephen Miller is bossing around Russell Vogt. And here's Trump all but confirming it. Play the clip.
Elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above. And I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you, and they love what you say about crime and stopping crime.
All right. First and foremost, nobody likes Stephen Miller. Nobody likes Stephen Miller. Fox News has to try so hard to give him an assist because he's so unlikable. The more he goes on television, the less likable he is. His wife cannot sanitize the situation in the least bit. But what's interesting here is what Trump said, the quiet part out loud. Nobody really wants to hear what Stephen Miller's true intentions are, because that's how diabolical and sadistic they are. So remember how I started this episode. Two things in tandem. Kanks gets to have his art show and tell. He gets to shake down people, and then they have to bring him trophies. And it's the humiliation exercise for this man's fragile ego. Meanwhile, Stephen Miller is running the show. Stephen Miller is trying to consolidate power so this can be passed on. And here's the thing that I have to say about Stephen Miller, Scott Bessent, Pam Bondi, and others. It's real fun for you guys right now. Stephen Miller, a Jewish man, Pam Bondi, a woman, Scott Bessent, a gay man. Rest assured, the knives will be turned around at you at some point. You are not the exception. You are not the super Jew, Stephen Miller. You are not superwoman, Pam Bondi, and you aren't the best queen ever, Scott Bessent. At the end of the day, you will be the marginalized group that you throw under the bus and that you don't fight for to these people. White supremacists and white nationalists are serious about their WASP intentions. And I just want to close with this. I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Whatever policy disagreements we have with people in the center, progressives, and far leftists, I believe as a political party, we need to challenge each other to be better. We need to have robust conversations. Everybody needs to go on podcasts. I'm talking about Democrats. And we need to keep trying to truck the party along. And Nancy Pelosi, I'll tell you what, when she was Speaker of the House, she whipped everybody into shape. And yesterday she got so pissed off at a bullshit MAGA journalist. And this is a sight to behold. Play the clip.
Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions.
Love her. It's exactly the way a MAGA propagandist should be handled. Shut up. You're lying. Everybody knows. They're talking about January 6th. They're still trying to whitewash it. And they have this conspiracy theory that Nancy Pelosi didn't allow the National Guard in because here's at the end of the day, the president ordered January 6th. And that president is Donald Trump. You could tell it was an inside job as we were all watching it live on TV when nobody came to stop it. Nobody came to stop it because Kanks was watching it in the dining room off of the Oval. This was MAGA. These were MAGA people. It wasn't Antifa. It wasn't Joe Biden's FBI, like Kanks tries to say, Mr. Dementia, because Biden wasn't in office. This was a MAGA operation conducted by MAGA people. And you want to know what I've heard, Pumps?
What?
These J6 convicted felons that were pardoned, when they show up to MAGA events, they are used for a photo op. And these people are so broken, the people that did this, they then get kicked out. They are, even in the MAGA movement, they are looked down upon. They only use it as a prop. And these people, I mean, you've clearly got, tendency for people to fall prey to a cult, a brokenness, people that have never been deprogrammed. And even MAGA treats these people like shit because they're not Antifa. They're not FBI. They are MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. All right. That's all we have for this episode. Please like, subscribe, Pumps. Tell them how to buy our coolest book of the fall.
It is linked in our show notes. Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. You can also buy it on Audible if you want to hear our delightful voices.